Okay, YouTubers, this is Joe from ArtAlienTV. Now, I've got a real quick one for you today. This was found by Rami Bar Ilan. I have his original meme here. He's done a bunch of pictures here. This was posted 20 hours ago on one or two of the Mars groups on Facebook. I will link to his original post in the description below, as well as my Gigapans and stuff that I'm going to show you. Now, what I've done, I was so impressed by this. In fact, I did glance at this the other day when I was doing this Gigapan. And but I was so busy doing the Gigapan, I thought I'd come back to that later, but he'd already posted it, so credit to him. We often find the same things, and he often beats me, and I often beat him to the post, so there we are. But I do like Rami. Rami's a great researcher. He's been doing this for many years, like me, and he's got a really good eye for these things. This is what he's called the Dragon, and it's from Sol 184. Now, what I've done, I've got... Not only have I got this, I'll flick through these for you. Here's a close-up. There's a close-up there, and the general area. There's the raw version, raw image on both of those. A bit paler. And then the overall thing here. So you've got this kind of neck and head sticking out from behind this rock here, so it's probably going right down into the ground, and it looks to be some kind of dragon or a reptile or something like that, with a quite clear mouth with something in its mouth. Okay, that's what you can see. Let me show you with the magnifier. He's done it quite dark, so you can really see the details in the mouth here. He's done it much darker than me, and you can see that it's got something in its mouth. Now, this thing behind, this kind of squarish looking thing here, is not attached to this, I don't think. Because if you look at how dark this is here, it stops here, and then this thing is much lighter, and the shadow is lighter, which means it's further away. Okay, shadows get darker the closer they come to you. Okay, as a general rule, even on Mars. It's called refraction or light refraction. And you can even see eye detail in there. Now, what I've done, I was so impressed with this, I thought, wow, what I thought I'd do is I'll do a stereo image of this. And what I've done, I've already uploaded the Gigapans here. I've got the left one here, Perseverance Sol 184, mass left, and I've got the mass right version. Now, these are both slightly enhanced, so they're a bit bluer, but apart from that, they're very similar to the original raw images, okay? And I'm going to show you the raw ones as well in a minute. So that's the right one, that's the left one. So look at the detail here. It moves round slightly, okay? I think it actually looks slightly better in the right one here because we're at a slightly better angle. Whereas in the left one, it's more facing towards us, okay? We've got more length to it on the right one, okay? So if you flick between the two, I'll put links to both of these near the top of the description with Rami's link and my other links as well, which I always put there, right near the top of the description, okay? So check this out. These are participant videos, really. To fully understand what's going on in my videos, you really need to click on those links in the description and follow them and check these things out yourself, because I only often brush over some of these things and don't go into a lot of detail about each thing. So you can check them out yourself and check that they're kosher, and you can find the links to the original images up here as well. And there's always links, okay? So always follow the links, because that's where a lot more information can be found. Here's the actual page where the images come from, and I've done a stereo image, and this is obviously the left and this is the right. There is a slight difference in some of the details, as you would expect from seeing things at a slightly different angle. If you zoom into the right one here, you can actually see a bit more detail in the eye here. If I zoom in, you can actually see what looks like iris detail here. There's more eye detail there. It's not very clear, but when you look in the left one, it's not as clear either. It's more distorted, but you can see some sort of eye detail there, okay, like an iris. And if you look at the left one here, you can actually see that this object looks like it's in the mouth here. This is the nose, obviously. This is the eye. The other eye would be to the side here, which is out of shot. We've got quite a large mouth with the jaw coming down. There is a bit of teeth detail there. Okay, you can see these things sticking up, so there is some teeth detail, and there's an object in the mouth which looks like a bone or whatever. I don't know. Okay, and if you look carefully, this shadow here is darker than this shadow here, which means this is not joined to it, even though it's in line with it here. It doesn't look like it's joined. Also, so because that's lighter and that's darker. Darker means closer, lighter means further away in the shadows, okay? And also, if this was sticking out here, the shadow underneath would also show that sticking out as well. Whereas this rather small object here, like a tube-shaped or bone-shaped object here, barely sticks out. It only sticks out an inch or two. And it doesn't even show in the shadow there because it's at an angle. Okay? If the sun was further around, you would see something sticking out the side of the shadow, but it's not. The shadow's sort of coming this way. Okay? If you look at this rock here, the shadow's just there. So this was probably taken in the afternoon. It should say, actually, it will say on the actual page when these were taken. Yeah, 12:49. So yeah, midday-ish, just after midday. There are slight differences between these two, but the right one is slightly better, so I'm going to show you that one first. And you can see the eye here, the big eye socket, huge eye socket coming right round like that. And if you go in close, there is some eye detail there with an iris. Okay? It's there. It's not very clear, but it is there. And the mouth comes down like this, obviously. And there is some very vague. Now, I'm sure if I push this really hard, we'd be able to see these teeth a bit better, but there is a tooth there. And there's some sort of detail in there, but it's very vague because it's in shadow. The main thing I want to show you really is this object in the mouth, which makes this thing look very convincing, because we've got a cylindrical object that comes from here to here like that. Okay, that's what it is. And let's look at it in the left one. Slightly less of the shadow here. This is the end of it here, and it comes under like that, and it goes up, curves, and in, and then we have the top part of the mouth there, with a bit of teeth detail going on there, and then the bottom part of the mouth here. You can just about make out these shadows here. Those indicate teeth to me, sharp teeth. But because it's in shadow, we're not seeing it very well, and the light hasn't really picked it up very well, unfortunately. What I will try and do, I'll get this meme thing I've done here, the stereo meme, and I'll actually push it a bit harder and crank it up and see if I can get those teeth to come out. But they are in quite heavy shadow, unfortunately. And obviously we got the head coming up like this. Let's do that again. Comes right up, and then the back of the head and the neck is joined and goes into the ground. Here's the sort of chin and neck, goes into the ground behind this rock, and there's the eye, obviously. And there is some sort of weird nose detail going on here. We've got a highlight here, and we've got a sort of nose configuration here, okay, which is a little bit distorted, but there's something going on there. It's like that. So is this some kind of dinosaur? Is it a dragon? I mean, dragon is probably really an ancient name for dinosaur, really, or something like that anyway. Although a lot of ufologists now do think that dragons were often, the word dragon was often used to describe UFOs, because UFOs will often leave a fiery sort of trail behind them, perhaps. As if they were breathing fire. They may have been seeing rockets or UFOs or something like that. So dragons, the word dragon can mean many things depending on how far back you go and how far into it you get. But in the West, it kind of means like a monster, like a bit like a large scary lizard, which is basically a dinosaur. Okay, And were there dragons on Earth? I expect there probably were. It depends on what you mean by dragon. You can see the same details in each one here. The right one is slightly better. So what I'll do is I'll put this meme image up on Mars Magazine page, and you can download it and have a close look. And what I might do is I'll do another one, and I'll put the raw. Here's the raw clip here, much pastier. But all those details are there. You can see it all. You just need to color correct it and add contrast, and you'll start to see these details come out. If you look at the right one here, even in the raw image here, you can see that bone or whatever it is in the mouth there. And you can see there is a bluish dark circle there in the middle of the eye, just there, which looks like an iris. So it's kind of almost a slit shape, like that. It's not round, it's kind of like that, okay? So it's reptilian by the looks of it. And what I'll do, like I said, what I'll do, I'll put this meme, or these memes, up with this one. Now this one is on Mars Magazine here. And what I'll do is I'll put mine up above it as well. And if you want to download these, you can. This is Rami's meme, which links to his original post, okay? Like I said, you can see the nose parts, the eye here, and the mouth, and this kind of weird cylindrical bone thing, whatever it is, goes to there. And you can see a sort of circular part there, which is darker, which means that it's kind of cylindrical, okay? So the actual shape of it is like that, and we've got a dark shadow there. Right? So what is it? That's the question. What is that in its mouth? Is it a bone? Is it something else? I don't know. I really don't know. I'm guessing, I mean, this is obviously a carving. I'm guessing that this may have been attached to something hanging down like this, like a bucket, or who knows what was hanging down from that. In China they have earthquake detecting sort of big cauldrons and jars. I guess you would call them jars. So they're like these big jars. I can't remember what they're called now, but basically they're like a big vase, and they have dragons around the outside, and each dragon has its mouth open with an object in it, like a little ball, like a metal ball, or a marble, and they're balanced very finely. And when there's an earthquake, these balls drop out onto the floor or into a tray or whatever underneath. And what it does, it alerts you to the fact that there is an earthquake, because it picks up very, very tiny tremors, this thing. I think they had them in the Royal Palace in China, in one of the buildings there. I can't remember. I'll find a clip of that and put it in the video for you. What I've got in each Gigapan, I've got the right and the left together. So the right is at the bottom, and the left is at the top. So this is the left one here, and this is the right one here. Okay. So I've got it up twice here, and you can see the other things in the area. There's loads and loads of weird fragments, and I'm sure some of these are probably statues. And a lot of these mounds, these large mounds here, are what I think are ruined structures, because they're in formations. And when you see them from the aerial views, which I've got some aerial views here. I'll put an aerial clip in as well, showing the aerial view of this area. You can actually see that these are buildings, okay, from above. You can see that a lot of them are rectangular, or round, or along kind of in long rows, with what look like streets in between them, or roads or something like that. So these are ruins, okay? And in amongst the ruins there are carvings and statues. And a lot of these large rocks here are actual fragments of masonry which are smashed up and collapsed. And a lot of it's buried, but this mound here is quite exposed. There's a lot of exposed stuff here, okay? And some of it's very strange. Check out Rami's stuff. Rami's also a researcher. He's found some of the best things over the years, and I often show some of his things in my videos, because like me, he's been doing this for a long time. He's an artist like myself, got a good eye for this sort of thing, and he finds really cool stuff. And I love the way he actually does these enhancements, and he pushes them a bit harder than I do, but because he does that, you can actually see other details like these in the mouth here, which I didn't do. But you can see it there, okay? You can see this stuff there. And he's got some of that eye detail out as well. And you can see, like I said, that this thing is darker, and I think it probably stops here. So thanks for watching, everybody. Please like and subscribe. Well done, Rami, on this one. Beat me to it yet again. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.